I'm not saying that you cannot be a nice girl. I'm not saying that being a nice girl is bad. To be a nice woman, to have great values about yourself, great standards, great morals is excellent. However, when it comes to the dating world, especially when you're getting hooked up with the wrong guys, you have to know where to draw the line, when enough is enough, and knowing how to basically take your power back and to not overextend yourself to guys who don't deserve it. I want to remind you guys that I am speaking from experience. The more that I do these videos with you guys, the more transparent I'm learning that I want to become. There are things that I'm still learning, but there are things that thankfully I have finally caught on to, and I want to be able to share those things with you. This is definitely my way of letting you know that I've been there, I've been her, and I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to do things differently that will add value to me and not take it away. This is probably the most real with any episode so far that I'm going to be with you guys, and I really feel like you guys will definitely be able to relate. It's good to be nice. You know, you want to be a nice woman. You want to be respectful, you know, morally. You want to be all around just a nice person. However, when it comes to the dating world, especially nowadays, you have to be careful not to overextend yourself too open and too vulnerable too fast. You will be dating and you will run into the wrong ones. It is inevitable. It will happen. When you're being too nice to the wrong person, you forget to put yourself first. You'll start to put his needs before your own. If you are dating in today's dating world and you're being overly nice to the wrong person, I can guarantee you at some point you're going to find yourself taking care of him. And as a result, this leads you being taken advantage of very quickly and also being taken for granted. The good girl wants the bad guy and the bad guy loves the good girl. It's just the way it is. As I remember, there was a phase that I was going through in my life where I only wanted the bad guy. I wanted the guys who were, I won't say heavy into the street life, but I wanted a guy who kind of knew about that life.
You know I'm mobbing with the DRE.
I wanted someone who was totally different from me. Growing up, I grew up in a very Christian household. I grew up in church. That was what my upbringing was. So to be able to see someone who came from a different world from me, it was somewhat refreshing, and I was interested. I wanted to learn about this part of life that was pretty much non-existent, and I didn't think that it was real until I met these guys. I think we can all agree, if you were that good girl, you went through that bad boy phase where you wanted something very different from you, and chances are you got caught up, you got yourself in trouble, or you saw way too much that you shouldn't have seen. Whatever the case, I don't know why it is. Maybe it's that whole opposites attract thing, that time in your life when you're at that peak of rebellion or whatever it is. But trust me when I tell you, it is a recipe for disaster. You get attached super duper fast. You get vulnerable. You open up to a guy really quickly. You start telling him all of your life stories, all of your fears, your strengths, your weaknesses. You give away a whole lot too soon, and you wear your heart on your sleeve. It makes being with you and taking advantage of you and taking you for granted super easy. Being the nice girl, being with the wrong guy, you will be seen as friend material. Although being nice may very well be who you are, to a guy who doesn't care much about you, he will take advantage of that niceness in 2 seconds. For him, that is a gold mine. That lets him know that you'll do pretty much whatever he wants you to do. It's the quickest way to get taken advantage of and to lose yourself, because you're dealing with someone who takes full advantage. You will find that your feelings will get hurt over and over and over again if you give of yourself way too quickly. Being overly nice, you invest so much only when you're dating. Women, we automatically do it. We look at this guy and we're like, ooh, I wonder if this is the one. Is he the one? This could be the one. Oh no, he's definitely the one. Oh well, okay, I think this one might be the one. We look at every guy that we date as our husband, and although you want to be married, you want to be happy, it's important to understand that when you're dating, look at it as that. You're dating. See this guy for who he is, have a good time, talk, whatever. However, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself because that's where your feelings get hurt. That's where you get let down really quickly. Women like this tend to get way too involved, and you don't notice the signs of when a guy is playing you. You don't notice the signs of when a guy actually doesn't like you and he's not as into you as much as you are into him. You go into a relationship and you give it all you have. Even if the guy is not giving it 100% to you, you'll give it to him 100% because in your mind, that's what you want, and you feel like at some point he'll give you exactly what you're giving to him. When you're this nice girl, you only see the good in people. You don't see any of the bad things. The guy can literally sit you down and tell you every bad thing he's ever done, even up to the week before he met you. But you will only see the good in him. You'll only see his potential. You'll see the type of guy that he can be. You can see the type of guy, type of things that he can do differently with his life. You don't actually see what's sitting right in front of you. You see what you want to see. You see what there's a possibility to be, but you don't exactly see what's there. And unfortunately, when you only see the good in people, you don't always notice the red flags and you will completely ignore them. Being the nice type of woman, you have so much to offer. You have so much to bring to the table. Constantly giving the wrong guy a chance, you will always start to kind of lose different pieces of yourself because you're too invested in someone who isn't invested in you. And that's where you can totally get lost. Your feelings are always getting hurt. You feel like you're going in circles. What am I doing too much of? I can tell you guys from experience, I was doing way too much for guys. I was basically being mommy number 2. I was making sure they were straight, looking out for them, doing everything for them, and then losing myself in the process, and also not doing as much for myself as I was doing for someone else who I've only known for maybe less than a year. I'm willing to risk everything for someone who would not do the same thing for me. I'm not saying that you can't be nice. You want to be a nice woman. You want to make sure that you are always your best self. However, you do not want anybody to mistreat you. Don't allow anybody to take advantage of you. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. So this was some years ago, and he was very kind. At the time, I was in a position in my life where I didn't have any drama. I didn't have any drama from my past relationships. I was pretty much as single and happy as a single and happy girl could be. I will admit that I overextended myself. I do regret being too nice. This is where you have to be careful, because when you overextend your help to someone, especially as it pertains to relationships, some knowingly and some unknowingly will always expect that from you. And before you know it, they get used to you being that giver. Whenever they need you, you're there, until all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm giving so much of myself to this person. I'm doing so much for this person. At what point do I give all of this that I'm giving to you and put that back into me? Try not to get too consumed and caught up too fast, especially 1, if you're not ready, and 2, if you can clearly see the signs that this guy is not as into you as you are into him. Bear in mind, when you do meet the one that you feel is written and has been designed for you, these little petty things you won't have to worry about. He won't take advantage of you. He won't take you for granted. He won't use you at all. I'm talking about specifically in the dating world, until you've met that person that you feel is the one. You have to be careful how much you're willing to give to someone. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank y'all so much for coming back to watch episode 7 of Trish Talk Tuesdays. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, subscribe to your girl if you're feeling these videos. So I hope you guys will tune into the next episode. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.